I pointed too. That's it.
He's right there. How's it going, everybody? We've been goofing around here on the couch. Sorry, we're still in a little bit of chuckly mode. My name is Matt Chacha. I'm your lead community developer here at Gun Media, and I'm joined today by...
I have a donut.
Mr. Donut himself.
Mr. Donut.
Yeah.
Wes Geltner is president of the Gun Medias and CEO of Donuts.
CEO of Donuts.
No, I brought this in. I'm sorry. Go ahead and introduce Mel.
And we've got...
The one and only.
The one and only.
I'm the customer service lead.
There you go.
No, I'm saying I brought, Ish was nice enough to pick up donuts for everyone in the office. It's from my favorite donut place here, so I was even more excited. And I was hoping, since on Thursday we always talk about food.
About snacks.
I was pretty sure Sarah Dope was going to be joining. And I was going to be like, give me a camera close-up of the, deliciousness of
Somebody
this donut.
push in on the donut.
So I can be like, she's not even here.
Nope.
Not even here.
Or she's lurking, and now she's gone out to get
Well, it could be. Could be.
But yeah, we have today in the stream room here with us. Obviously, we've got Wes and Mel, who you guys might know as Gun Media Support / Gun Media Help on Twitch and Mixer. Today, filling in as Gun Media Help / Gun Media Support on Mitch and Twitch Mix. I said Mitch and Twixer.
Sure.
It's a good day. Twitch and Mixer is the one and only Raj Mahal, also known as Raj Al Ghul. On the other side of that wall, we've got our producer, Rob. Rob is back from his vacation. He's in there pushing the buttons.
Welcome back,
he's
Rob.
already cycling through camera angles and stuff, having a great time. Now, real quick, I need to just mention, for those of you who don't really know how we run our programming here, on Tuesdays we have a show called Beyond, which is where we cover all the news coming out of Gun Media, whether it's Friday the 13th, Layers of Fear 2, or anything really having to do with Gun Media. That's our news program. Thursdays, we have this show, Tales from the Stream, where we like to hang out and play some horror games and talk to our friends around the community. Our friends meeting you guys in chat.
And all kinds of topics. Food, porn.
Horror movies, porn. Yeah, I mean, look, man, nothing's off limits. It's an
Well, we usually just talk more the squiggle vision.
Yeah, it's super low key. It's like, it's not even Skinamax level. It's the,
The nostalgia.
Right.
Yeah, right. There you go. So hide your kids. Real quick, I just want to get some shout outs out of the way. We got True Green, Bicycle of Death, Every Fanatic, Mayari, Saitan, Nix, which is Nix. Nix, sorry, bad girl. Zero Force, Thursday the 12th. We've got The Treks in Disguise, JJC. We've got IXD007. We've got M. McGinn. How's it going, McGinn? Resistor. We've got a Lane Shift. We've got a Stormy Chew. We got a Mad Moxie. Hey, Peanut. We've got, over on Mixer, we've got Zen Mike, TFR84, Mad Eye Yokai, Stoutimus, JJC again. Buddy, you're the best. Screamer Chaotic, Sooner, Bruno Sick. How is it going, everybody? Thank you for hanging out with us. You okay there?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you put your hand up. I apologize. Babysitter Killer, how's it going? Babysitter Killer.
She's so small, she was waving like,
I just saw a hand out of the corner of my eye. I was like, Matt, shut up for 2 seconds. You're being rude. I apologize. Yeah, so everybody, thank you for tuning in. Today, what we've got going on, though, is we actually have the Friday the 13th on Switch build. Mel is going to do some cool things. She's going to play through some offline bots. We might do some... I may take a run on it. I may just sit here and talk about horror movies because I've seen like a buttload of horror movies. I'm dying to talk to y'all.
you've been to the theater a lot recently.
A lot.
Yeah.
I bought a Regal Pass, so
I mean,
like,
you're in now.
I'm like the old man waiting at the Golden Corral for like the 4 o'clock dinner. Yeah, I'm like, well, the buffet should be open. Yeah, that's
Early bird special.
That's right. Every weekend, I go to the movies and I see at least one horror movie, and so far I haven't been let down.
They let you in with your peanut brittle.
Yeah, exactly. I hide that in my handbag, in my messenger bag.
Do you go to the matinee?
I do. I bring my balled up tissues and my Werther's Originals and peanut brittle and yeah. And I drink a seltzer. No. But yeah. So, no, where did you get your t-shirt? Love it. Where'd you get that t-shirt?
Designed by humans.
And Thursday 12 says, I wonder if the dress code at Gun Media is you must wear cool horror t-shirts.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I don't know.
Except for him. Yeah.
There's no dress code. It's like, wear whatever makes you happy. Like, that's what you wear.
That's right. But I mean, when you get a bunch of... It's interesting because, that's 100% right. Wear whatever nobody ever says a word about what you're wearing. But when you get a bunch of horror nerds together in a building, what do you end up with?
But what's weird is if I come in with a plain white button-up shirt, everyone's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
They're like, it's like some kind of like...
You have court or something?
Right, exactly. I'm like, no, I just put on a white shirt. What's the deal? And they're like, oh, is the board coming in? Or are you firing somebody today? I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
It's like, were we supposed to dress up too?
Right. Did I send out the memo? Exactly.
Jimmy Champagne says, Matt, nice Return of the Living Dead shirt. Thank you. I thought so. Send more cops. That's my favorite. And I was telling Wes, for those of you who are tracking the t-shirt totals, because I know there's a few of you, for better or worse, keeping an eye on.
They got like a counter going somewhere.
They're keeping an eye on how many different shirts I've got and how many different shirts I'm pulling off. This is our 22nd episode of Tales from the Stream, which between that and beyond is a total of 44 episodes without a repeat t-shirt. It's getting super difficult though, guys. So I'm gonna stop calling attention to this because I'm gonna have to repeat one sooner.
I was
going
gonna ask, do you have a separate closet at your house for all your t-shirts?
No. I definitely have 2 rows.
I'm sure Kirsty can give us an entire.
We have a walk-in closet. I have 2 rows of t-shirts hung up, and then I have another 2. I don't know how many in the drawer, and then I have more that.
You hang your t-shirts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to fold anything. So, yeah. He's putting us in the poorhouse, Moxie says. I'm sorry. Every time a shirt gets delivered to the office, I show Wesley. I'm like, don't tell my wife.
She's gonna find out.
I know. She washes them. So, now it's at the point where she sees them. But, yeah, anyhow, guys, I digress. 44 T-shirts. I'm out. That's it. We're done. We're going to get off of that topic. Now, Rob, if you want to throw to camera 4 with a little bit of gameplay in there, we're going to get going. We're going to load up the Friday the 13th on Switch with some offline bots. You wanted to start with, I think?
Let's do like a challenge.
You want to do a challenge or 2 first? All right, go for it. Yeah, so Mel's going to run through some, challenges, some offline bots, that kind of thing. Oh, looks like somebody did actually jump in these. I wonder how many There's 3 skulls. You may be able to...
Well, this one's a good one to get warmed up with.
That's a good point, yeah. People fold shirts, right?
I do. I fold my
I
t-shirts.
like to
t-shirts?
fold and roll.
Yeah.
I like that.
If I'm traveling, I'll pull the shirt out, I'll roll them all up into those little, so that I can fit as much stuff in the bag as possible. But yeah, I keep them hung up.
I just have limited space.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife has a lot of clothes, and so I get, like two drawers to myself or whatever. So
Yeah.
gotta make what I can make happen. In our closet, it's like, forget about it. I'll never get
We have a
space.
pile of closet space in the apartment we're in. And between me, Kirsty, and Moxie, yeah, we use every single inch of it. But yeah. It's scary in here.
Thursday 12 says, that's awesome. Some companies have a strict dress code. Yeah, I guess they do, but I don't think you run into that much in the video game industry. Maybe at other studios they do, but not
I mean, I've
really.
worked in big studios also and
Yeah.
in indie studios, and in both places it was, as long as it's not like super inappropriate, you're good.
Yeah.
You can't be walking around with like curse words and boobs on your shirt, but other than that, man, you're good to go,
They're here, Jason.
Hey,
Find them.
I played last night.
Yeah.
So Lane Shift,
Gotta get used to the controls.
he's a friend of the show, and he's he runs a podcast. Lane Shift was like, hey, we're trying to squad up real quick on Switch. We're kind of feeling it out, and do you have any tips on how the functionality works for squatting up? And so I was like, well, add me on Switch and let's take a look at it. So I just clicked join on friend.
I'm listening. I'm just eating a donut.
Dude, do you? So I just clicked join on friend, and I popped in there, and there were folks in there, all kinds of different folks in there playing, and it was great to see. And we just, honestly, it was something that I did want to bring up at the beginning of the show. I had a blast playing, and it was one of those things where, I don't know, man, it's hard to explain. Like, we laughed our heads off, played for, only a couple of matches, 3 matches or something like that, but it was one of the most fun times I had.
It says mixer is not working, black screen.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna toggle the stream, stand by.
Cool.
Rob's working on it. Sorry, mixer people.
And
Sorry,
I lost
Mixer
Adam.
folks.
Technical difficulties. It was probably my donut.
Yay, it died. Why would you yay that?
Jason.
Bad girl says, Mel, you are so cool.
Mel
It's
is
true.
pretty
Oh,
cool.
thank you.
It is true.
We're retrying this though. We will do this.
Mixer is mixing things up. Will you or will you not get video? It's good now.
Yeah. I saw earlier OBS was having some trouble with Twitch
Gotcha.
too. So
Let's blame Wes. Yeah, it usually is me.
Might be faster,
Like, to be honest with you,
man.
usually my fault.
Just hurry up. I don't want to miss the hot chicks at the park.
Like I tripped over a cord or something somewhere.
that happens though.
Rip stream. Yeah, I think everybody hits refresh. It should be good.
Yeah.
Make them remember what they did to us, Jason. Kill them.
Yeah, refresh stream is good. Perfect. All right, we're going to give it a second to get back in there.
So you said you've been seeing some horror movies.
Yeah, I was gonna mess with the community, and then I was like, maybe not. I was I was gonna create a whole new rumor on what we were talking about while the stream was down, and I was like, forget it.
Oh.
Let me not do that. Yeah, I've been seeing some horror movies. I had an evil thought. I wanted to do a thing, realized I couldn't, so I decided that I would share with you all that I had this evil thought.
Oh.
Sorry. Horror movies. So I started going every weekend. I went and saw, what was the first one that I went to see? Oh, Midsummer. Ari Aster. He did Hereditary, for those of you who don't know. Now, I have an unpopular opinion. I know that we're all supposed to like an Ari Aster film because he is a very talented director, and he is, and I'm not saying he isn't. But with Hereditary, you could tell, in my opinion, that he sat and really kind of, put together the script, put it away for a minute, revisited it, refined it, put it away for a minute, revisited it, on and on and on until he had what he had with Hereditary. Then he filmed it, and I guess, being somewhat relatively unknown and a variable, he had the resources at his disposal to film this movie that I think looked good, but I'm sure he wanted to do more. When you watch Midsummer, it's him making up for wanting to do more and not being so worried about that stone tumbling around in the rock tumbler that first script was.
Yeah.
Because the story, and I'm trying really hard not to spoil anything, but the story, it's like all out of the way really quick, and then, people are trying to draw a line from this to that, and really what it comes down to is you're trying too hard. It's a gorgeous looking film. Cinematography's great, really well acted, really, in every parameter you can judge a film on, it's great. The story, though, just didn't compare at all to Hereditary. And, whereas Hereditary had this line that it carried through the entire film, and you felt like you were learning more about the story and, getting more of the story and kind of like, I guess, knowing more about the characters and learning more about the story throughout the entire film. With Midsummer, you were like, all right, cool, so that's the rundown. Thing happened, now girl is going to be in an environment that exacerbates said thing to the levels of ridiculous. And then the rest, like the script is over in 20 minutes and it's just a vehicle to create the shots that he wanted to create. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that because I think the guy is a massively talented filmmaker. It's just, okay, dude, got that out of your system, now let's have you write something, along the lines of Hereditary again.
Me, not the fucking electrician.
I know. Chat, what do you think? Have you seen Midsummer? I still haven't seen the new Child's Play yet. I heard that Terrifier movie was supposed to be good, but I thought it was trash. Terrifier, Terrifier's the best thing ever. Terrifier's a core slasher movie in a modern time.
I didn't see it.
You haven't seen that yet either?
I haven't.
You gotta check that one out.
Okay.
It's a very core slasher movie. The idea is body counts and creative blood and guts ways to kill people. I think that if you watch it with that in mind, you're not expecting this deep running story, yeah.
Okay.
I saw La Llorona last night. That wasn't too bad. Awesome. Midsummer was trash. Mr. Feet is back and says Midsummer was trash. I wouldn't say it was trash. I thought it was gorgeous looking. And the cast did a wonderful job. Her last name's Pugh. I can't remember her first name if it's Florence Pugh. The
Okay.
lead actress was phenomenal. Cinematography was great. It was just a really good-looking film. It was a beautiful film. They did some really cool things, but like for instance, you go on YouTube and you watch these videos and they're like Midsummer Explained,
Yeah.
and it's always some guy who's like, "It's a this," and you're like, "Yeah, okay, I got that."
Yeah.
You don't need to do a whole video on it, man. Like you need to have more to talk about. So, what have you been watching lately?
I haven't been watching much of anything at all recently.
Been a busy man, right?
Yeah, I've been doing some reading on the side, and yeah, I kind of don't do a lot of screens. Watch some Twitch streams occasionally at night before I go to bed, just kind of a wind down. But I've been doing a lot of paperwork and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I
I've
hear you,
been
man.
tending to the garden a lot in the backyard. That's going well.
What you growing?
I got basil, cucumbers, and tomatoes this year.
Those pickles were delicious.
Yeah, the next batch will be done I believe I could probably bring a batch in tomorrow.
Yes.
More
Well-
pickles for the office.
Yeah. So we'll see how they. These cucumbers were a little bigger than the last one, so I'm not sure how that's gonna. If they're gonna need to stay in there longer, or if they're gonna be okay.
It may need to, in order for it to all like permeate.
Absorb. Yeah.
I forgot to get pickles, bro.
You missed the pickles.
Was Rob here for pickles?
Rob was in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Make
Yeah.
them suffer.
Hey, so what about you, Mel? What's the last newer movie that you've seen? Mel just gave me the look like, man.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, nice.
That's like the newest.
Newest one.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched Hannibal. That's an old movie. I've seen it several times, but they added it to Prime, and I was just on my
nice.
treadmill, and I started watching it again.
I just rewatched Blade, the first one, because I'd never seen it.
And with the
And the
news
second
of-
one.
Yeah.
News of Blade. The what is it? Blade reboot.
Yeah.
Farmer West. Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, what was the guy's name that's going to be playing it?
Who's playing Blade?
Yeah, the newest one.
Chat's gonna be able to help here.
Yeah.
Ali.
Oh yeah.
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his Mahershala Ali. That's
there you
right.
go.
Nice.
Thank you, Shoden. Oh yeah, Hannibal's good. Yeah, I mean Hannibal's a great movie, but yeah, one of the things I like about Prime though is that rediscovery when you're like, I haven't seen this in forever. The other day I went home and Kirsty, you guys might know her as Mad Moxie in chat there, was watching like Lake Placid or something.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not one that I'm like, whoa, Lake Placid. But I walked in and I was like, what are you watching? She said, Lake Placid. I said, why? She was like, because it's there. I was like, all right, right on. I sat on the couch. I watched it for a bit. And I was like, whatever,
Creature
man.
feature, right?
Yeah, and
Sure.
I don't do that enough. I don't know, there's a little bit of that sensory overload with streaming movies.
I remember on Sundays, back in the day, the Sci-Fi Channel, they would just run like, hey, all day today, it's creature feature stuff. So it'd be, Anaconda 2, the Anaconda-ing or whatever, right? And it was just one after another of like animals eating people. And it's pretty great because I would do like laundry and be doing random things and, you stop and just
Yep.
watch someone get eaten by whatever the thing was. Pretty good.
We need, I feel like Shudder does a decent job of that. And I think that one of the things that I found really interesting was there's a group, an unofficial Discord for Shudder, and they've been doing these like view-along sessions, right? And I was like, man, that's really cool. I think there needs to be more of that, more of the horror communities kind of getting together and, I listened to an episode of Shockwaves where they listed their all-night movie marathon, but I mean, Shockwaves being Shockwaves, they went so in depth with, okay, well, this is what I would play at this time slot because people would start getting tired and we want to give them a shot in the arm to keep going up.
Yeah. It's like a DJ putting together a playlist of music, right?
Yeah. And man, it was such a fun episode, and it got me thinking about things. And between that and the Shudder Discord, we started doing over in the comms room. Mel is a part of this, so we started doing in the comms room the double feature Friday. Now on Fridays, we always try to bring in a movie or take a movie out of the Gun Media has a library of Blu-rays, horror Blu-rays that, I mean, a lot of people probably wish they had in their living room, but so we'll go snag one from there, or we started doing that and we started syncing up on the Gun Media Discord. For anybody that doesn't know, the Gun Media Discord is !Discord in the chat. You can join in.
Real Gamer Girl, yes. The answer to your question, yes. Dedicated servers are on the Switch.
Yeah. So we run these double features. We hang out, we watch movies, we talk to people in the horror chat kind of section of our Discord, and it's been a lot of fun, that communal experience. And yeah, I cut the cord completely as far as cable's
Yeah,
concerned.
same. Yeah, I did.
And that's one of those things that I miss,
Yeah.
like the Twilight Zone marathon on what was it, New Year's Day, and so we've been trying to, in my personal life even, we've been trying to recreate it. That's why we went back to the tradition of watching Return of the Living Dead and Jaws over 4th of July. You know what I mean? Because one takes place on the 3rd, one's 4th of July weekend.
To die, Jason. Make them suffer.
But yeah, this weekend I got tickets to see Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark,
Ooh.
and I am friggin' pumped. I can't
When's
wait.
that? When's
Make
Creepshow come to
mommy
Shudder?
proud, Jason.
What's the date on that?
September, like something in the teens, I want to say.
Well, it's
Yeah.
faster than I thought it was.
Yeah, much faster. We're about a
Okay.
month away,
Nope.
roughly 30 days away. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one too. This one's tough. Hey, actually, I wanted to mention something here. Those of you who have seen the Subway ad, which I think at this point anybody watching this show has seen the Kill Time ad with Lord Chaos sitting on the bus stop there. I used Lord Chaos's walkthroughs for the single player challenges when they first launched. When I would get stuck, I wasn't even working here yet.
Nice.
Single player challenges launched. Yeah, there you go. The kill time ad. Thank you, Rob. He has a YouTube channel. It's Lord Chaos. I believe it's
With a K. Yeah.
And yeah, his single player challenge videos actually got me through the single player challenges that hung me up.
He's got that smooth, sultry voice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Really deep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You put that on in your headphones and you're just kind of sitting there at the PC and you're like, oh, I see what it means. You know, playing along.
He had a few skit videos too where he cosplays Jason and his wife like interacts with him. They're pretty funny.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I would play this one. I remember because I got hung up on one of the unlockable. One of
Like the hidden
challenges.
ones?
Yeah, and I just was at a loss. So then, you know, the first step is you go and look what the challenge is because then it's not hidden and you kind of feel like you know. But then I couldn't get it done. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody, but
They're here,
It was just Kenny and AJ in the beginning of this one.
I'm so hyped, cannot wait. The Switch version, now we're playing in docked mode. Now this is a personal preference. My cup of tea is, I really only mess with the Switch handheld. I don't know
Yeah.
how. You know.
Well, it's a convenience factor. In docked mode, it's great if you're kicking your feet up in the living room and play, but you probably have a Xbox or a PlayStation
Right.
in your living room. So, but if you only have a Switch in your house, period, then yeah, if you're going to kick up your feet in the living room, yeah, dock it. But otherwise, it looks better undocked when you're playing, you know, directly on the device.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to be like, I'm gonna lay in my bed and sit and play this, or you know, whatever. So
For me, I have the PC, and I play mainly on PC because my TV in my house is always taken over by my daughter or my wife or whatnot. So I'm always playing. I always play handheld. I can't really get TV time, you know. And yeah, I was actually really happy last night. Again, like I said, I played a couple matches with a bunch of people, and
deserve to
I just kind of had my feet up. I had the Switch resting on my belly, and I was in my glory, man. I had this real moment of like, I'm gonna sound old and corny, but I was like, I can't believe that we're seeing a Friday the 13th, a modern Friday the 13th game
On
in
a
general,
Nintendo, yeah.
then on a Nintendo Switch. That's like, you know, only a snip bigger than some cell phones these days, you know? And I was like, the whole thing to me, I just had a moment of being a pure horror fan.
yeah, it's kind of surreal.
Yeah, and you just find yourself going like, shit, man, this is
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, I remember being in Toys R Us and looking at Friday the 13th on the NES, and I didn't have the money for it. And then my next door neighbor ended up, he did get it, so we stayed up all night playing it together. So yeah, it's very surreal to know that like that was the first time it happened on the Nintendo console, and then I got to help bring it to this one. So it's pretty cool.
Pretty amazing thing to be, involved with in any way. Hey,
Oh, there it
you go.
is. Yeah, that's definitely the one for sure.
I remember the artwork on it, and it's very much an.
Oh, yeah, super 80s. They even threw some like hot pink highlights on Jason.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look at
Yeah.
that. Jason has like a hot pink armpit.
Yeah, like that's
Nice.
come on. Which still to this day, if you go to a convention, and you bump into Kane, ask him about that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's cool, it's on there. He goes, but they didn't ask my permission or pay me a dime.
Yeah.
It's like that sucks.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Mar?
Looking at the cover art slips from Toys R Us, yeah, now the Toys R Us that I went to maybe it's different, but it was a big giant wall
make them
of
remember.
just the little slips, and then the game art was like in a plastic sleeve, but then hanging from that was like a chain with the full book for the thing, so you could, but it sometimes
flip
was
through.
just printed out from a computer, like in black and white. It wasn't the actual one, or like the photocopied or whatever.
Right.
So you could look through the guidebook or whatever, and then
Hurry up. I
Pick it
wanna
up.
miss the hot chicks at the park.
You know what that makes me think of? Conversation that I saw kind of swirling around socials the other day about the horror movie discovery experience and how there's a group that's bringing back certain horror movie Blu-rays in like old clamshell and VHS boxes, but when you open it, there's a Blu-ray in there. And then, of course, people went down the road of talking about, well, I remember that discovery moment, and it got me thinking of the same kind of thing, like being in the video store. For us, I grew up in Clifton, New Jersey, and there was a Blockbuster right over by my dad's house, and like walking through the aisles of Blockbuster, and like we would go to Blockbuster knowing that that was like multiple hours of our. We weren't going to go in, grab a movie, and walk out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
You didn't know what you wanted.
Right.
When you pull in the parking lot, you don't know. You're not there for a specific movie.
No, and you're just along for that ride, man.
Sure,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna get a box of Nerds at the counter, and then I'm gonna walk through this store for
Well, it
2
was
hours.
right next to the hair salon that my mom would go to. So she would go to the hair salon, and I'd walk in. We had a family video, is what it was called there. And I'd go into the family video and walk around. And yeah, it was that same thing.
Yeah.
And I would go straight to horror and walk around and be like, which one of these looks better? That's how I never heard of Puppet Master.
Yep.
But the cover was like, looked cool. I was like, these look like toys that'll kill you. Awesome, you know? And I taught my mom into getting it for me.
There's also so many of those older horror movies that, I mean, they have like a special place in my heart, and I have this nostalgia factor for them, even though they're not that great. But because the box
Yeah.
art was so compelling that when you walk past it, you were like, I need to rent this. I need to know what this is about. And then you get home and you'd be like, this is not that cool. But now it's become like, you know.
But it's not you can have like this like jagged, craggy rock that like when you're holding it in your hand, it hurts your hand, it can cut your hand. It's like, and you pitch it into the river, right? And then 30 years later of it
Right.
rolling through time and
That's right.
silt and hitting other rocks and so on and so forth, you pick it back up 30 years later and it's smooth as a baby's butt, right?
That's right.
That's exactly what your brain does to horror movies or anything.
It sends
from
them
your
on down
child.
that river. Yeah.
It does, and and now it's smooth in your head, and you're like,
Yep.
oh, you remember how good this is? And you're like, everyone's like, yeah, it's like a big warm hug. You're, yeah, I do remember that. Then you go back and watch it again, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
There have been some that I've put on and been like, oh my God, yes, and I love this movie, you know, and then I still love it. There have been some that I put on and I'm just like, man, that was so much easier, like, it was so much easier to get me to rent your movie when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Because all you needed was that box art.
yeah,
And, you know, again, not to bring up horror t-shirts again, but that's one of the things I love about, Fright Rags, Cavity Colors, these companies. They make the horror t-shirts like they used to make the box art.
Yeah.
And they make it like just 100%, all right, elements from the movie, doesn't have to be an actual scene. And we just want to grab you, you know? And to me, it's like, it's a little moment of like young Matt, like I said, popping Nerds, not having diabetes, popping Nerds in the video. Yeah. All right, now I'm dragging everybody down. Somebody said they wanted to hear about the patch. Guys, we normally stick to fun topics on Tales from the Stream. We leave all the news for Beyond. But considering the situation, I'm going to give you just a quick update. We are still on track and targeting this week. The team is crunching pretty hard to try to make sure that things get done in time for the weekend. Once we have a more, definite answer, we'll let you guys know. It may be right up until tomorrow morning before we can, give you guys a concrete yes or no. It's going to make it out before the weekend. But the team's really pushing. So yeah, and that's
the graphics for the game on the Switch, just like the other console versions, amazing. I mean, not really. I mean, there is a bit of a downgrade that we had to do with LODs, level of detail, on textures and whatnot. So it's more noticeable when you have it docked and you shoot it up on a big,
right.
65 plus inch,
Zoomy.
1080p, whatever, 4K, whatever it is, that you're going to see more of the like, oh, okay, like some of those textures look a little muddy, or some of the geometry doesn't look quite as smooth as before. But it's what had to be done, of course, to get it to run on a device like the Switch. But when you're playing it in your hands and you're playing it, it does look
Well, and that's
pretty damn good.
whoever's saying that in chat is probably if you're watching this stream on a PC monitor at your desk like you normally do with Twitch, you're going to have that aspect ratio and all that where it's going to look really, when you sit down, you blow it up on a big screen, sure, you're going to know you're playing a Switch game. But again, what I've been telling people is it's no small feat that your console at home is the size that it is and the Switch is the size that, you know what I mean? Getting it just on the Switch in general is a feat. Murder Mel, that's right. Kill them, Mel. Kill
I'm
them
happy
all.
with this.
Yes. Kill for
Graphics don't matter to me as long as it plays good, I'm down. And, I don't want to say that graphics don't matter on this side of the table either, but the goal of getting it onto the Switch is getting it to look as good as it can on that hardware and be portable.
And be smooth.
And smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it looked really great, but every time you did a 180 with your character, it got wonky.
Get away from it.
Oh, is she jumping in the car? No, she's gonna run straight.
Yeah, she is too.
She is.
Oh, can't cancel.
no.
Didn't cancel.
No.
Oh, where did she go?
Where did she go?
Oh,
She was just like, no, forget it.
Okay.
She gave you a chance. I'm watching on mobile and it looks clean. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, she's gone.
Let's see here. I missed a question. Any word on Double XP? Maybe this weekend. Double XP will not be kicked off this weekend, mainly because we're shooting to get that patch out tomorrow. Even if we get it out tomorrow, that's going to be really late breaking. We want to make sure that we're not, mixing up things. We want to be able to see how the patch reacts, how you guys react to the patch and see the patch in the wild for a bit. But I am thinking that we're probably going to kick up some Double XP probably around midway next week.
nice.
Assuming everything's rolling along good, that'll get us through the Switch launch. That'll get us through the patch.
Can we get
that'll put us,
13x XP instead?
No. But yeah, so that'll put us on the other side of the Switch launch, and everybody will have their patch, and hopefully we can get back to having fun.
Well, babysitter, to answer your question, he says, "How'd you get this game past the folks at Nintendo? Since it's a kid system, I wouldn't say it's a kid system. It is a more family-friendly brand, I guess Nintendo is. But I mean, there's a lot of M-rated games available on the Switch. I think that Nintendo definitely their market share is focused more on more family-friendly, kid-approachable, maybe happier, friendlier, more colorful kind of games, and that's cool because that's the market that they've carved out for themselves, and it makes sense. But that doesn't mean they turn their back on M-rated games.
Right.
And there's several, again, in the market that you can point to. From just the other day, someone was trying to drag me on Twitter about, I can't believe Nintendo did this, and
Yeah.
this game is so violent and so sexual in nature. And I was like, first of all, I didn't know if our game was sexual in nature, but I think I jokingly said something back about don't tell this person about Bayonetta or Dead or Alive, because
Right.
both are available on the Switch, and I would say those games might be a little bit more quote sexualized than
Right.
our game, but whatever.
Well,
But Nintendo's been really cool to us.
Sure.
And Rob, who's our man behind the curtain here, runs this show, is also a producer here that works directly with Nintendo and handles all of those conversations with those folks. And he's always had nothing but
I've never
nice
lost
things
them
to
in a
say.
challenge before.
You lost them? You don't know where they are?
No, I don't know where they are.
Exit the house and then take a peek back.
The
The house is still lighting
yeah.
up.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't lighting up at all. I was like, oh, maybe they're hiding.
Thursday the 12th. When is the next event your company is going to? Do you mean like next conference, or maybe what you mean? I know we have Scarefest that's coming up in the middle of September, which is here in our neck of the woods. But we're not going as like to have anything to show. We don't have a booth or anything like that. We go as just horror nerds that wander around and meet people and spend too much money on shirts and figurines and shit.
One thing I did want to say on the Nintendo topic, though, that I think was interesting is going back to the Wii, which is not the Wii U, but even the original Wii. There was a moment where Nintendo really wanted to sink home the idea that, M-rated games can exist on our platform. While we're interested in making what we're making, and you had games like Mad World and things like that that came out for the original white Wii, and that was an active push by Nintendo.
Yeah, well, I mean, they pushed Resident Evil 0 and whatever the other one they released on the GameCube.
Right.
They had a big marketing push behind that.
Right.
Even putting Nintendo brand and Resident Evil brand together. Like, hey, look, scary stuff on your
Right, right.
GameCube, So
So they're trying to hit more than the market
Sure.
that, just because the first party games that they develop are their games and they tend to fall into a family friendly line doesn't mean that they're unwilling to. But I get a kick out of it because, I even had somebody reach out to me saying something like, what are you going to do when Nintendo realizes how violent Friday the 13th is? And I was like,
Yeah.
are you under the impression that we lied to them? And we were like,
Right,
yeah,
right,
no.
right.
It's kind of like a Mario game. It's a, it's a platformer in the summer camp, and we're just sneaking this thing by them. Come on, So, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Assuming that they had no idea, it's
Right. I mean,
insulting.
that's also why you have, ESRB, PEGI, and all the other ratings
Right.
set in place is that it's already kind of been vetted anyway. But yeah, Thursday 12th, yes, next conference or event. I mean, you and I are going to TwitchCon.
Yes, sir.
But we're not going in the capacity of we've got something to show or we have a booth or any of that nature. We're just going to hang out with some friends and make some new connections and things of that nature. And I'm sure there'll be some other conferences in the future that we'll be attending, but I don't know that any in the near future we'll be going to where we have an actual presence, so to speak.
I have no idea where AJ went. I'm assuming that's who it was.
You know what you could try doing? You can morph to some key points in the map and then do the morph to like the corners of the map kind of, and then do that sense circle that I always like to do. Yeah, I kind of go up into each corner, and then I'll turn sense on and just do a quick 180 and see if you spot anything. And then morph, by the time you give it a little quick look around, you can shift or morph to another spot and see if you can find anything there too. Thursday at 12 says tell Mel just to restart the challenge, but no.
Yeah.
Mel's gonna hang in there. Please, Mel, don't.
I was going to restart it, but I was like,
I was over here saying, no way, Mel's gonna hang in there, and she was like, yeah.
I was thinking about it.
Real Gamer Girl wants to know, what's the file size? If you have a digital download, I guess, of the game, what's the file size? I have no idea.
I do not know offhand. I have to get that answer also in.
Hang on.
Wait.
Rob, repeat that.
Under 4 gigs.
Under 4 gigs.
Boom, there you go. Let's see. Will we ever be able to break couches? Ring around the sofa sucks for me. No.
No.
Breaking a couch. No, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, destruction is the frame rate will drop massively if we include more destruction than what we already have, which is just, breaking doors and smashing windows and stuff. That is already somewhat of a challenge to most systems. So if we allow for even more destruction to take place, we're going to have a lot of people dashboarding. And it's not worth the payoff, the time it would take to make it happen. And that's arguably, that's right in that gray area when it comes to what the lawyers are going to say yes or no to. Because the content itself, like the couch, pre-existed. But what if I can swing and break it? Does that mean that's new? And I got to tell you, those conversations are not fun. And they're very, very long to have because they're lawyers that you're talking to. And so there's like 700 variables that they want to talk about.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't so taxing on the machines themselves, so that we could do some more things like that. That's kind of cool. But B, the other side of that is the ongoing legal discussion that anytime that we want to do anything to the game, we have to prove that it isn't quote unquote new content or adding something new, like that. Like it's not the most fun conversation.
And one of the things I wanted to say about the whole idea of, destructible environments, there's a reason that that's a tech that when a game has those destructible environments, it's like
The whole game
core-
is about it, yeah.
Right, it's a core function of the game because it's gobbling up resources, basically.
Correct.
To
Like-
put it short,
Remember,
But,
remember how good Red Faction was for that?
Yeah.
Cool, it was so fun.
And I mean, even in the Battlefield games, it's a core
sure.
part of the Battlefield game, but yeah,
You give up? Are you nuts?
Yeah, they don't have as many complex animations either.
right.
Never!
I know how to end this.
But somebody in here said, will people who back the game on Kickstarter get Savini on Switch? No. Savini, and there was another clothing pack, I believe, that was Kickstarter exclusives only.
Yeah.
Those are not making their way to Switch, so in other words, they're not making their way to Switch at all in any variation, any offer, anything, because they're staying with the Kickstarter, which is now ended.
I
So,
like you.
yeah.
A lot.
Babysitter says on Xbox, if Jason breaks a wall now, the game dashboards. I don't know if you guys knew that. I'm just letting you know.
There's something that we have, the team's investigating. Ben and Mel were checking up on it, and Raj were checking up on it the other day. We were able to reproduce an issue that would take you out with a combination of buttons. It's not just simply breaking the wall.
Yeah.
It's breaking the wall with another combination of a button press.
Yeah, it's rarely one action. It's usually a variable of many actions.
Right.
It's always something weird. Like whenever early on the car, this is during live, like early days of the game, the car would just be driving down the road and something really ridiculous would happen. The car just flip and shoot to the moon. All kinds of crazy shit was happening. And for the life of us, we couldn't figure out why it was happening. We had to narrow it down and do like one counselor at a time. And then we thought maybe it was the inventory. So like, well, what if you do have a pocket knife in your inventory? Try that. Now, what if you have this in your inventory? And it turned out to be Deborah's hair. Was what was causing the problem.
Wow.
That the physics capsule that's around her hair, that whenever you drove forward, it was colliding with the physics capsule of the car itself.
That's
so you had
crazy.
these two things, and it would start basically an infinite collision. It would never stop colliding. And so it would just keep doing it. So the car all of a sudden is like, I'm not as good now, and now I'm going to leave Earth, right? It's, you're like, whoa. You could see the snowball effect happen. So
Like aggressively dribbling a basketball.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Be able to use the Switch touchscreen to your touchscreen pick your morph location. I'm not sure about that one. You want to give that a shot? Oh, wait.
I'm like, I would be happy to, but it's over there.
I'm sorry, Rob, what's that?
I'm pretty sure it's this one.
We're pretty sure the touch is enabled. It's just Rob says he's pretty sure touch is enabled. It's just the motion that isn't, correct?
Yes.
Because there's no logical motion use, right? We can verify that and follow up with you in our Discord after the stream. I actually have, you know what? I have this
fancy
handy
case
dandy.
you got there.
Yeah, this cool game company gave me this case to put my Switch in, and of course I have the pink and green controller Switch. We're gonna verify such things.
I like to call
On the
that the
fly.
watermelon switch.
Yeah, well, it's just the Matt's aesthetic Switch is what I think of it as, but yeah. So let's jump in while it loads up.
Nippy asks, is there any plans from Gunn to make an original IP that plays similar to Friday the 13th? No. And that's
Dang it.
primarily because when we signed to make Friday the 13th, part of that agreement keeps us from making a game that is similar to Friday. So it's not like I can go back and make, because this started out being a game called Summer Camp. I can't like just go dust that off and say, let's go make this instead. So yeah, that's the long answer. The short answer is no, we can't do
Oh,
that.
Kenny.
Oh, yeah, Kenny, he didn't want any part.
No, he did not.
Are we excited about the Predator game? Yeah, man, I'm excited to see what Ilphonic does with it. I love that IP and that franchise. And it looks like, I think they're concentrating, mostly on the first film, I think. I don't have all the details. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm both excited to play it, and I'm excited for that team to be able to, move from what they did with us with Friday, and now they get to go, touch another IP and do something cool with it. Because it, that lifts everything up. Like the more of those experiences that happen. Because if you guys, some of you may know this, some of you may not know this, but if you go back maybe 15 years in the world of video games, if it was a game that was based on a film IP, it was probably going to be really, really, really bad.
Yeah. Oh, there was some dark days for film tie-in games.
Correct.
You know?
And I don't mean like just go back 15 years and there was a couple games. I mean, if you go back from the dawn of when video games were made up to about 15 years ago, that 25, 30-year span in there, the films that were based on, the games that were based on film IP were not very good. So the more of these that get made by teams that bring innovative and unique ideas that are not just, hey, let's just take this license, make a game, and make money from it. If you're actually doing something unique to it and you're taking a white glove approach to the IP, then potentially more teams will follow suit in that, and you'll see more really cool games come out that are based on IPs that we all love, from our youth, and even IPs that are out today.
Yeah. I think we're starting to see more people too latch onto the, for a while there. And, look, I'm just going to say something that it's awkward but true. There was a good long time where game companies would say, yeah, I don't know, movie tie-ins.
Dude, we got it for Friday when we would meet with them to try to, because we, we're trying to raise as much money as we could because we knew what we wanted to do with the game and all that stuff was expensive. We got the same thing. We met with publishers and they were like, yeah, no, like traditionally games that are based on film IP don't sell well. Or they're just not done well. We're like, yeah, but we're trying to buck that trend.
Mm-hmm.
But no, when nobody was really willing to roll the dice, there was a couple that were, interested and kept the conversation going. But we never could come together on on some of the contractual pieces. But Thursday the 12th says, he's curious, what is a day in the life of Wes? Do you wake up at 6 a.m., check emails, go for a run, eat bomb breakfast, go to work, tell Matt to go to work, get to work, etc.? No, I mean, sort of. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is when I go to the gym. So, yeah, I'm up at usually about 7. Eat breakfast and go to the gym on those days. I bring a bag of clothes, and then because we have a shower here at the office, so I come in and then get ready here. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, yeah, I do have a treadmill. I get up. I'm not a big runner. I don't like to run, so I like jog a mile and then walk like 2 while I'm watching Netflix, and that's in that time frame I can get about half a movie in that time frame. So I'll do that sometimes in the morning as well, or at night for about 8 o'clock or so. I'll do that because if I try to exercise too close before bed, I get too jittery and wired and stuff. But yeah, and then when I get here, yeah, it's I just try to kind of get out of the way most of the time because everybody already knows what they're doing, which is a huge benefit to me as I can focus on making sure I'm the best leader that I can be for everybody here, and making sure that their workspace and environment is comfortable and that they can be as creative as they can be. Like I need to give them the tools to be as creative as they can be because I don't have to worry about them not knowing their job or how to do their job because they're all very smart and experts at what they do. So which makes my job a lot easier.
Take it easy, Ragnarpa 80. We appreciate you stopping in. Oh, somebody brought up the ET game.
I love this kill.
That's one of my favorites. Actually.
If the lawsuit gets resolved, can Ilphonic make Jason versus Predator?
They deserve to die.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Make them suffer.
Now, before we get going, can I give this challenge a shot?
Yes.
All right, cool. Here, you want to take the pad?
Yes.
You can keep an eye on chat and.
This is going to be real warm, and I'm sorry about that.
Here, take that from me before I knock this over. Here we go. I want to give this a shot and see if I still got it. Confirm. Yes.
Hi, JJC.
Mel is on the chat now, guys. So, look, I'm not responsible for. You can tell by looking at her. She's going to let you guys know. So I don't want no part of the.
What are you trying to say, Matt?
I know, right? Jeez.
Because
We share an office,
Mel
Matt.
is like a tiny mouse. It's funny to think of her as.
I'm small, but I am fierce.
That's right. There you go. That's the words I was
How
looking
about
for.
you show me what else you can do with those animals?
Hi, lane shift.
You win.
One of the things I love about the single player challenges is how.
Now.
Well,
I mean, watch the films.
That
They're-
leaves you and me, I
It's not accidental. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
no. Just something I picked up at
this
dance
is what
camp.
Vera and Shelly, right?
I like you. A lot. Maybe we could.
I don't think so. I'm gonna go for a walk. We'll talk when I get back.
Talk.
So Rusko is asking about the eShop for folks in Germany, and I'll check on that
Oh,
with Ish and them afterwards.
yeah, there's a situation with the eShop. We're trying to get it resolved in time for launch day.
Yeah.
Mel will follow up.
Yeah, most places it should be available day of, but there might be a couple places where it might be a little delayed, but we'll see.
I'm trying to remember how this one goes. Where I gotta be.
So Mad Moxie says, as someone who's worked for difficult employers, I worked for doctors. It's nice to hear of a boss being so complimentary to his employees.
100%.
Way to go, Wes.
Yeah, Wes.
Yeah. I mean, I've said many times, people ask me, they're like, oh, you've done these things and it's cool. And, what's the secret to all that? And it's pretty easy for me is I surround myself with people that are far smarter than me. And it makes my job much easier whenever you do that. So
Remember me, Jason.
people that don't do that, like usually have some kind of complex or some kind of like ego issue where they want to be the smartest person in the room or something, or they want to like micromanage the hell out of something because they feel like they need to have their hand in all the things. And
We talked about this before. A lot of times it comes down to like them having bad bosses themselves, like
it could
learning
be.
it.
It could be that, yeah. It could be. But I just don't see how that would foster both a solid work relationship or an environment that people look forward to coming in and doing this stuff. Because at the end of the day, like, we're all pushing towards something that we all think is cool, and like that would be the biggest thing that would destroy me, is if someone was doing it, but they don't really want to do it, but they're just like showing up and just kind of going through the motions. It's like really, like that makes me feel like I would have failed. You know what I mean? Like that if you're just, I don't know. You should really enjoy what you're doing. You know,
Yeah.
because you're not here long enough, right? Like,
That's right.
and if you're gonna give a piece of your day and a piece of your time towards a thing, then you better love the thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because if you don't, then it's like, I get it that you're like, there's people's like, yeah, but I have to work this job to pay the bills, and like I completely understand that, but
I've had many of those jobs in customer service.
yeah.
For me, it was out of high school, went into trades, and spent a decent amount of time in trades. And I was like, man, I really want to do this thing. I think I got something to offer here. I want to do this thing. And when I made the jump, it was a risk. It was scary, but in the beginning, when you're first starting out in community, believe me, you're not eating steak and lobster tails every day.
No.
When you're first starting out in
No,
community.
not
you
at
know?
all.
So I took the cut, I took the hit, and it was the best thing I ever did. And now, yeah, I'm lucky to be where I am. I'm lucky to be in an environment where we're able to just be our best, be as best we can at something. All right, now we want to wait for Shelly. See, I did a lot of waiting here. I don't know if I missed one other kill, but once Shelly gets to about there, we can shift in, and we can hit her with the harpoon gun, and then still catch Shelly on his way to the barn.
Babysitter killer. I think we did record that line. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't remember if that exact line, but it seems like that was recorded. Shelley saying, I'm an actor, not an asshole.
Yeah.
I think we did that, but it may not have got put in, because I know there's a lot of lines out there from our VO actors and actresses that we didn't either have the time to get it in there, or it didn't seem like it fit like the right scenario, you know?
Don't stop, Jason. They deserve to
Now what you
die.
want to do is you want to
Make them
north
suffer like we
over here.
Dontrell, yes, I agree with that. Larry Zerner did do a bang-up job when he came back, for sure.
Oh, Shelly's going the wrong way.
Thank you, JC4. We'll check it out afterwards for the ticket that you submitted.
I think I may have screwed the perfect run up. No, we're good. All right, when I get a little closer, I got to go into stalk, but I got to time it out where it's going to last.
Okay, someone's asking, let's see, RMF X Deadly D. What is each one of your fave models in the game? So costumes for counselors and Jason models. They absolutely love Part 7 model. I like Part 2,
You're a Part 2 person? Okay.
definitely.
Matt?
I think part 3.
Okay.
Just, it's one of my favorite Jasons, and I don't know, there's something about that iconic Jason kind of look, you know?
Yeah.
make them suffer.
Like when I imagine Jason in my mind, like when you just think about
Sure.
the franchise, the character, I see Part 3 Jason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before the notch in the head, that movie is just so awesome. The axe in his forehead with the arms out in front. There's just so much. You know. All right, so now I gotta figure out. I gotta remember how the end of this plays. Oh, that's right. They're upstairs.
The canoodling.
That's right. I can go get them now. I should be able to get them both now in the bed, like the scene from Bay of Blood, right?
Oh,
Isn't that this bit?
is that this one?
I don't know if it's in this challenge, but kudos for.
There is a challenge
that's
like
all.
that.
That's Wes's School of Horror. Oh, mother, son of a gun. They're already done in bed.
Already?
No, this isn't the Bay of Blood bed one, because that would be Adam.
Right.
Shit.
It's on the Packanack map.
I gotta get out of there before he sees me. Here, let's shift.
Yeah, the hippity dippity. Yep.
This is the wood chipper.
Stormy Cheese says no canoodling in this camp.
I gotta go get to the wood chipper and turn it on. Before, what's his head is in the, Oh, I might have blew it.
Punished fox die. So yeah, these are definitely the challenges. I think this is.
There we go.
Let's see. Are we number 6? think we're
I'm
on
not
part
sure.
6.
I confused this one. There's one where AJ. I mean, the game is not very.
You missed the. Aren't you supposed to stand there?
Nope. Game is not very kind to Mrs. AJ. She's hanging around with a lot of folks. The one where she's hanging around with Adam is the one where you can pin him like Bay of Blood. The one here where she's in bed with Kenny is the wood chipper one. And no, what I do is I stay down here because if you're up there and he comes out that door, he'll spot you.
Yeah,
Makes the turn.
he spotted me right away because I was like, oh, I'll hide in this tree bush.
Yeah.
No.
He comes down to the kitchen to get a beer. He hears the wood chipper and he comes. See how he's going to come straight out that door?
Yeah, I got you.
I don't want him to see me.
Has anyone been to Scarefest in the office? Yes, I've been to. This will make my 6th, I think, 6 years in a row.
I'm
The
getting
tickets definitely went up this year, though. The price,
Did it get you?
price ticket
Yeah,
went
I haven't checked yet.
a little higher than they have been, but
There we go. Check it out, Kenny.
oh,
Who's all going to be there
Just put
this
the
year?
face in there.
this looks fine.
Oh, there's going to be a ton of people there, but Bruce Campbell will be there. Kane, I think, will be down there. Of
course. Yeah, you can go to their website. I think Scarefest Lex or something. I don't remember the exact website, but Scarefest Lexington, Kentucky. You can Google and see their lineup of people that have committed to coming.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, all I got to do is go upstairs and get AJ while she's freshening up. And I don't want to be running because she'll spot me.
Whoever worked on AJ's booty needs a raise.
I'm a man of very little talent. But that's one of them.
That's definitely one of them. Okay, she's not in there. Oh, is she still in there? Please don't still be. No, she's in the bathroom.
Slurgeon 2009 says, thank you for this game. It's very enjoyable. Thank you for being so kind.
That is very, very kind. Thank you.
Now I think I got to flush her in the toilet.
Swirly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
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 So we actually built a toilet in the motion capture studio.
Oh, goodness.
And Kane had to. That's awesome.
But it was made out of wood. Like you
Yeah.
have a bunch of these. It's because when you're in the motion capture studio, you have your prop room, and then next to that's like construction room where they actually have like full-on carpentry tools to build stuff on the go.
Right.
And then they have like an oversized prop room where they had the trees because they had just filmed
Don't let them escape.
Jungle Book. So they did motion capture in there for Jungle Book. So they had all the trees. There were massive, huge trees in there, and big enough to support a human. You could like climb up them and stuff. Anyway, so all of most of the contextual kill stuff, Jason pulling people out of like a car, those types of like kind of secondary and tertiary animation sets that are very specific. We had to build the objects that would be interfaced with. But you make them out of these they're almost like oversized Lincoln logs. You want to think of them that way? They're really big though, and they can all support weight. They're like pallets and pallets on,
Someone getting bonked upstairs, man.
because we had to do like somebody walking out on the pier and like the distance and the drop and the getting in the waters and like all these kind of things. You had to build all this kind of stuff up, so you could have the different levels. Because it could be, weird if Jason's trying to like grab someone at different levels and stuff. So. But yeah, the toilet swirly kill or whatever. We just built a little thing that was about the size of a toilet, and he grabs one of the stunt actors.
It's awesome.
Shows him that in there.
I know because of the heights, they're very rudimentary, and I remember with what was it? Splinter Cell Blacklist. We visited Ubisoft Toronto, and when we visited, they were like, "Yeah, that's the bridge of the what is it called again? The Paladin ship."
Yeah.
And you're like, "No, it's not. That's like a bunch of raw pieces of 2x4." And they're like, "Yeah, but when you stand at it, that's the bridge of the And you're like, "Okay, I guess I get it." But yeah, pretty cool how they do that. So that the heights are, if the actor puts their arm on something, there's something that is that height there to.
Well, when Kane was doing pulling people out of the car, we built an actual, it kind of had a door and it kind of had a window and it worked. Had to measure the car in the game was going to be, and then you build the set to that so that it's the right size. And so we had all that. Everyone had their little motion capture balls on them or whatever. And so the actor is sitting in a normal chair, like a desk chair you might find at like a school or something. and we built everything around that, you know. And so Kane comes up and, you know, grabs the dude and pulls him out. And Kane placed his hand weird, put his weight hand weird, and then reached in, and we're like, that's not going to work. So we had to shoot again. And he did it the second time again. It was like instinctively, he like put his hand to like lean in, and we're like, no, dude, you're going to have to like make this cleaner so the animation set's cleaner. Like, got it. So third time he nails it, but pulled off all the balls on him when he reached in, and we're like, we got to do this again, right?
Just gonna have to keep trying.
So on the fourth, or it may have been the third one or the fourth one, I don't know. He totally rips his bicep just because he's one-handed pulling a man out of a car 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And his muscle next morning was the nastiest purple and blue and black, and I was like, oh my God. Like here it was all yellow and gross, and I was like, dude, he's like, yeah, I've completely ripped my bicep, but you know what you got to do for the shot, right? And I was like, well, it looks badass.
What a trooper, though, man. That's
And you guys
cool.
got it.
Yeah, we got the shot.
Make them
Goodness.
remember, Jason.
Oh, we just got a raid from Obrogano.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, nice, Brogan. How's it going? Thanks for the raid, guys. We're doing some Friday the 13th on Switch single-player challenges. AJ and Mitch were making some pasta, and I'm gonna kill them all.
Yeah, and I see Team Big Boss said, is multiplayer working on Switch or is it just challenges? Multiplayer works, it's just where it's pre-release, we're playing challenges instead of multiplayer.
Yeah, our servers aren't full of people playing right now, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense to try to play a live match right now.
Voice chat works as well.
Yeah, voice chat works through a system called Vvox. I was using it last night. Oh my goodness, it is like, I was really impressed. I said it 3 times. You know, the Vvox voice chat over the Switch is like being in a cell phone call.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And it's all just through the port on the top of your Switch. You plug in any, you know, I'm using the SteelSeries Arctis 3, which I think is like a $40, $50 headset. And you just run that and, yeah. Now, I don't remember if I'm going to be able to get around to the front here or if AJ is going to already be moving on. Oh, shit.
Babysitter, questions like that. I mean, you know, we're huge fans of the franchise, so you know we definitely weren't done, and we had plans. But I don't like to go into the details of what stuff was because it's kind of salt in a wound a little bit, you know, where people are still bummed that you know the lawsuit's keeping us from doing stuff. So for us to then point out, well, yeah, well, here's all the stuff we were going to do.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do any good, and it really, you know, gets people kind of ticked off more, and I just don't want to add fuel to the fire there on that. You know what I mean? Maybe it's someday whenever it's like,
Make them pay.
you know, not such a fresh wound that maybe there can be more of a post-mortem. We can talk about some of that stuff, but I don't think right now is the time to do it. Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I know where you're coming from, and I wish I could talk about all the things because there was some really rad stuff we wanted to do and had plans for, and you know, already started building, but
Yeah.
you know, alas, here we are.
It's that common topic of the, you know, dwelling too much on the what could have been and you know.
Yeah, it doesn't do any good.
To some folks want to hear it because they're
Well, I get it.
curious.
I know, I get it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
There's fans that are like, no, I like what's here. I enjoyed what's here.
Right.
Just curious where you guys would have taken it, right? Like just as a fan talking to another fan, what were you going to do with it? Like, I would love to have that conversation, but that conversation wouldn't stay between you and I.
No.
It's going to go out into a place and potentially become far more toxic than the point of why we sit down and talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, and I would love to get it to that point one day. Again, I don't know when that is, but when we can get to a point where everyone's just kind of more chill and just like, yeah, we're all just fans here. Let's talk about what this could have been and be okay with what we had and not cry over, you know, what happened, you know, like, because I get it, and it's just a difficult situation is all.
How did he see me in there? How did he see me? I believe
NECA's
that.
hurting too. Yeah, I know.
I think Chad has eyes in the back of his head.
Chad is a punk. Now I'm just gonna have to.
I've never
slash
heard
him.
him described that way before.
NECA makes me depressed. Yeah, I know. I know Randy over at NECA, who runs that, and It's just, it sucks how all that went down. Because he got, in a similar situation where I guess maybe, I don't know the details of that, but I'm pretty sure he was into production on things that had to stop. And I'm like, man, that's a song I know too well.
Ooh, I didn't want to miss the chance at being able. I'd rather let Chad go than miss the chance at being able to get the revenge on the final girl kill over here.
True Green, yeah, it's.
Oh yeah.
We can definitely put the game on the Switch because we didn't change. Nothing's being added to the game, and that's the stipulation of that the ongoing litigation that's happening between the two parties that are named in the suit. Is that you can't add anything new or release anything that's new under the Friday 13th name or what have you. So taking the game that's already pre-existing and putting it on a new platform that's outside of the confines of the legal stuff.
I apologize, chat. I failed you on this one.
Man.
Yeah, sometimes because I leave that door open.
I feel better.
Yeah, well.
When you leave that door open in the kitchen there, right? Mm-hmm. It's a risk. For those watching, I hope I'm not spoiling too much of the challenge, but if you shut the door, you can use sense to see when Chad's in the right spot, and then you can actually quietly open the door and walk up to him.
Yep.
I always leave the door open, and I never realize where, the axe is. And so he comes in the house, he sees the axe sticking over in the doorway, and then he takes off, and then it's blown. And, the thing I love about the single-player challenges, though, is we still managed to get revenge on Jenny by hanging her in the barn.
Yes.
Which, again, is a spoiler. Apologies, but, I mean, and that's a nod to part 3, where the final girl takes Jason part 3 out in the barn there, hangs him.
Is it Brogan or?
Yeah, Brogan.
Or Brogano. Sorry. Either way, he said, he tried to cut couple of single-player missions, and he was terrible, too. So, don't feel bad.
What?
You get better with practice.
He says he was terrible, too, is what he said, at the single-player missions.
You do get better, and honestly, all right. There's some ones, guys, I don't want you to beat yourselves up, too, because there's some ones, for instance, this one, complete the entire mission without using shift ability as part 6 Jason. If you were going for watch your step, walking tall, seared, all of those at once with all 3 skulls, they're not possible because, of course, when you catch a counselor in a trap, you're going to be detected, right? I mean, nothing says somebody's trying to kill us like a bear trap in the foot, right?
Right.
And if you can't use shift and stuff. So one of the things that I love about it is there's a lot of cool different ways you could play it. This particular challenge, just because of that Jenny kill, I always run part 3 Jason. I
Okay.
just think there's something cool about that.
Okay, it is Brogan. Okay, good. I wasn't.
Yes, that's
'Cause
Brogan. She's a streamer. She streams.
I haven't met her.
Oh yeah, she streams on Twitch. Shares a lot of really great content on Instagram
I'll have
as
to
well.
check her content out.
Yeah.
I want to say when I see your name, I want to say Bro-regano.
Yeah.
Is what my brain wants to do, and I'm like, maybe it's like a meathead place for pizzas, where the guy's like, hey, welcome to Bro-regano's. Forget about it, that kind of thing.
I'd still try the pizza.
Yeah.
They put extra protein on our Bro-regano pizzas.
I think what we're gonna do though is, Rob, if you're available to
Again with the
toss it
food, I know, dude, I know.
back- I am just now realizing that. Yeah,
You get that all the time? Seriously, you get Bro-regano all the time? Wow. Okay, I guess I'm not as original as I thought.
It just sounds to me like they have a new line of emotes they can make.
That's right. Yeah, you need to make well, how would you illustrate bro oregano? Would it be look good?
I would have a pizza flexing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or like a muscle sprinkling oregano like this.
Oh, like the salt, dude. The salt
Yeah.
they got. Yeah, maybe.
No, right on the bro.
Oh, I got
You know what I
saying.
mean? Yeah.
I got you.
I don't have
Or maybe
muscles,
it's
so maybe I wasn't
it's the flex
illustrating.
and it's like a tattoo of an oregano plant.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyhow, guys. Oh yeah, here I'll take that back.
See you, real gamer. Real gamer girl. See you on Tuesday. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
Be here.
yeah, basically we have run ourselves through an extra half an hour of streaming, but we're gonna call it a day here. Basically, we wanted to run through some challenges while the servers are still quiet. We have another Tales coming up next week. That's gonna be post-launch, which I believe on.
They're making fun of my
Beyond-
shoes in the chat. Yeah. These are my dancing shoes.
Those are them shoes are like a light in the darkness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if I'm wearing a plain black shirt, I was like, oh, I'll wear my Or my bloody heels today, right? Like
Yeah.
black and the red. Come on.
Switch looks is going to take a little while to get used to. Absolutely does, but once you do, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, as I said, guys, this has been Tales from the Stream. For those of you who don't know, we run 2 shows a week. We have a Tuesday show called Beyond, where we cover all of the news. We'll have, you know, all of the news of anything that Gun Media works on. But next Tuesday, the episode of Beyond is a special because that happens to be the launch day. We're going to announce, Rob, you actually just had that lower third up there. If you could put it back, we're going to announce the winner of our Kill Time giveaway, which, for those of you who are not aware, by tweeting at Fear the Gun and at Friday 13th the game with the hashtag Kill Time giveaway, you have a chance to win one of these super cool bloody handprint press kits that we did.
With your bloody handprint.
This is my hand, yeah, yeah. Check that out, guys.
My germs.
So yeah, right, my germs. But yeah, tweet at Fear the Gun, at Friday 13th the game with the hashtag Kill Time giveaway. It's up on the screen there now, and you'll have a chance to win that. We will be announcing the winner on the next episode of Beyond. So we're gonna go through that at the top of the show, and then we're gonna hang out, and that's launch day for Friday the 13th.
You know what else is happening on launch day? Jet's Pizza for everybody here.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have a belly full of pizza. I may show up with like an insulin
Pump,
like
just built, yeah.
You see here, I'm
Big
here,
giant tank of it,
Hang
just
on 1 minute.
Pumping it into you.
But yeah, so on launch day, we're going to be hanging out. We're going to announce our giveaway winner. We're going to play some more Friday the 13th with the community that day on the Switch. So if you are picking it up, make sure you tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern time and jump in a match. We're going to probably just quick play with whoever we can find.
Oh, yeah.
And Thursdays at 3, we have Tales from the Stream. Next Thursday is going to be another Friday the 13th on Switch stream. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with us, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you for always being so considerate and patient with us. We'll have more news on that patch as soon as we have it. Keep an eye on the socials. We're still targeted for tomorrow. If anything changes, we will let you know over there. And yeah, one more time, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys later.